Hey there, everyone. It's Dr. Yam again. How is everyone doing this fine Tuesday? It's happy to be here with you. Listen, we're going to get started with another opportunity to lift your lids, as I like to call them, strengthen your productivity, and enlighten you with a method to help you grow and profit in your business. So today I'm even more excited because this is probably one of the top three tools that I use in my business. And hopefully you will find this to be just as helpful as well. Those of you who are still in the thinking stage and you haven't made your leap yet, you haven't did that sprint to take your idea from just a piece of paper and just dancing around in your heads to actually launching, and now you're in the growing stages. So again, for those of you who do not know who I am Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach. You are able to reach me in these spaces over in LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and over on Instagram, as well as my website. And for those of you, if you haven't already done so and you haven't joined one of the communities that best is suited for where you are right now, and everybody's in a different space, then I do want to invite you over to the Busy 9-to-5ers Hive, is where our employees are making their transformations into entrepreneurship. And they're doing so by taking that idea and that plan, removing obstacles, removing fears, and taking action. So please, head on over to busy9to5ershive.com. Now, if you've already launched your business and you're looking to grow and you'd like to apply some of the marketing, what we call content marketing methods and strategies, then certainly head on over to Content Tips and More, where I help newbie solopreneurs, freelancers, and coaches apply and improve their strategies for content marketing and methods to help them grow their business. You can head over to smallbizsociety.com is where you will find me and other people like yourself. Now, each Tuesday I come to you with another nugget of information and tools. And so tonight we are going to ask ourselves the following question. If I can get my mouse died on me just now. Isn't it something? Always something. All right. So here's your question. How is mind mapping something that can help you in your business? And it's certainly been a tool for me. So I'm going to walk you through an exercise and demonstrate for you, give you some highlights of what is mind mapping as well, and then give you some of the benefits. And I'm actually going to model for you how I use a particular tool. And so you should already see the link for the tool inside of the Facebook group. I'm going to double check something real quick and make sure that it's in there for everybody. If you don't see it, I'll put it inside of here as well. Give me 1 sec. I want to make sure I get it right here. There we go. Yeah, okay. If you don't already have it. Oh, don't go there. Where did it go? Hold on, guys. Sorry, my screen just made a little pivot. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do this right here. So here is the link. I'm going to put it inside of the chat in the comments so you guys will have it as well. This is the tool that I'm going to be demonstrating with you. So if you want to go ahead and click on the link and you'll have access to that. And I also have it inside of the Facebook groups themselves, so you will have access to that. If you're still having trouble accessing the link, just show so in the comments and I'll be happy to send it to you in a direct message in case you're having any problems with respect to that. And always remember, I'm using StreamYard, so please allow StreamYard to see you so that I can see your comments and you can ask me questions while I'm doing the live sessions. If you happen to be watching this as a recording, you can still ask your questions. Just leave them right here in the chat and we're good to go. All right. Now, that being said, let's get to the details. So one of the first things to really understand is you might know a little bit about mind mapping, maybe didn't know it had a actual name to it. But when we think about it is, well, the first question, well, what is mind maps? And so I like to say that mind mapping is a visualization technique, and it helps to show how an ideal idea or concept is kind of related to a central theme. So I want you to kind of think back, maybe even as far back as school, elementary school, or middle school, or high school, even college. There used to be a method or a strategy, and I'm an educator, so forgive me if it sounds too edgy. But one of the writing methods that we teach kids was what we call the spider method. And it's just a way of capturing your thoughts and just putting them down and making connections to them. And so that's essentially what mind mapping is. And it's a great way to capture your ideas. So I really think that that's a simplest way to kind of put it. It's a visual technique that's going to show you how your ideas can relate to a central theme. So again, kind of think about the spider diagrams we used to call them back in teaching school. Anyway, so with that visual kind of representation, you use mind maps, and it could be used in any situation. We use them in all types. You could use them for writing an article. You could use them for designing a process. You could use it for even an ad campaign. Yeah, I know. I'm making the connections. So there's always an opportunity that you can take just this huge idea and get it captured on paper. And I think that's what's most important about mind mapping. For me, it's a place that I could do what I call brain dumping when I have an idea. Now, there's different ways to which you can facilitate that exercise, and I'll show you that in a minute as well. But you do have an ability to use it as a digital tool, or you can go old school like you did when you were back in school and use it on with a piece of paper. Now, let me just go over some of the key benefits, and then I'm going to go into how and demonstrate for you what this could look like for you as we think about it from a business standpoint as a solopreneur, freelancer, and coach. And you're thinking about marketing methods as an example as one, or in any types of ideas in your planning. I use it a lot in particular for as I'm planning courses, as I'm planning ads, as I'm planning even sales marketing methods as well. Although I do have a different type of a tool for that, just because of the nature of the work that we do as an agency. But that being said, one of the key benefits that I like to tell people about mind mapping in and of itself, let me hide that, is that it helps you visualize better. So depending on the type of learner that you are, and remember, there's the three, we call them the VAC, right? There's the V for visualizer, which is me. There's the A for the auditoriers, and then there's the K for the kinesthetics, the kind of hands-on. I learn better when I do things on my hand, with, getting my hands and getting muck, right? So that's your VAC. And so this method may not be as appealing to those of you who prefer auditory or hands-on. However, even with the hands-on, you are drawing and you're doing those conceptions, so you have that kinesthetic connection with it as well. Now, even from an auditory people, you can add audio to this. So there's that's a stretch maybe, but still it's an idea. So, but for the most part, it helps you to visualize the idea that you have is one of the benefits. Another benefit, I keep going from my mouse and it's not working. Another benefit is it helps you to stay organized. Now, depending to the extent of which you want to use a mind map, you can have one jumbo mind map, and everything you think about can just be dumped into the master mind map. And then from there, you can kind of do what I call spin-offs, right? And in each one of the spin-offs is like I break off from the jumbo map of ideas. And it's like, okay, you're good enough to go on your own, make it like birthing a baby, but take it off. And then you get to then have a focused mind map in and of itself. So it's helping you stay organized. Is just a wonderful way of being able to get those thoughts down and together. I actually even use my mind mapping is my form of journaling. So remember, I talk about journaling is a very personalized way of note taking and capturing your ideas, your thoughts, your visions. And so for me, I tend to mind map as my form of journaling and reflective writing. It just works for me. And that way because of how I interpret information. And so that's how I journal. Most of the times when you look inside of my journal, you'll see a lot of maps or drawings and things along those lines. So it really helps me. And then one of the other things that you may not know is that it can save you money and it saves you time. And one of the reasons why I like to bring this up is the fact that you're saving time because you're being more productive. And being more productive leads you to saving money. And then your time is money down the road, right? So any way in which you can help to optimize your time, the way you're using it, that's a money saver, right? So you want to kind of think of it along those lines. Now, that being said, how do you get started when it comes to mind mapping? If this is like your first time really considering it, then let me just make sure I put that up there, right? So time is money. We got that one. Now, how do you get started? Well, I'm going to give you the high level of some key concepts, and then I'm going to circle back and then we'll do a demonstration because I don't want to go in and out of my screen too much. So one of the first things that you want to consider when you get started in mind mapping is start with that central topic. Basically, what are you thinking about? And remember, the great thing also about mind mapping is it doesn't have to be, it's not linear, meaning that it doesn't have to go in any particular order, which is great from dumping, right? And if you're ADHD or AAHD, as I like to call it, for adult attention deficit disorder, then this is even better for you. If you tend to be, and most of us as entrepreneurs, we're always in this idea mode most of the time. And so ideas come to us and it's like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. And you don't want to lose it. So a way, again, just to capture it and putting it down in writing form. And I put it inside of a mind map. I sketch it out real quick. And so the components of starting a mind map is just that. What's that central idea that just came to your head? And you start with the central topic. And then from your central topic, just like in old school writing, then it's like, well, what are some of the main topics? What are the main things that are those main connectors that would be part of this idea that you have? Now, that's not to say that every idea is a good idea, but it's an idea nonetheless, and you want to capture it. It may not be a good idea now. It could be a great idea later, right? Some things come to us in their own sweet time. Now, and not always does every idea mean that you have to take action on it. I learned the hard way with that, but I do want you to be mindful of the fact that this is why capturing it is such an important aspect when we think about ideas for your business, whether it's a product or it's a service. Everything doesn't have to you have to take action on it right away, but capturing the idea is important because you don't want to forget and lose it. Then you'll be like, damn it, I can't remember. And that's kind of where because my head is always going. And so capturing it. So again, the next step would be, what are those main topics? And then after that, you follow it with what? Subtopics. Now, if you kind of get this flow, right? You got a main topic. Maybe it's the head title of a blog. And then just like in a blog, what are you going to talk about in this place? You had a great idea for the topic because you're the expert, right? And remember, as the expert, you should be able to talk about certain things you're really good at and really passionate about all day long. So if you were to talk about that one ideal topic, what would it be? And then what would be some of the main components of that subject matter? And even if it's just 3 or 5, right? If we're talking from a blogging perspective, then what are those main topics that kind of shoot off of that main idea? And then if there are any, what are some subtopics that you could dig down even deeper? That is so the same writing components that we think about back in school and writing an essay or writing an article or or a story, the same kind of holds true. Not that you necessarily have to have a thesis statement, but you certainly can use that as the writing structure as well. So I'm not going to get too edgy on you again. When I say edgy, I mean education. Anyway, so that's kind of how we talk in Mind Map Land. We start with a central topic. We then go to what are some main topics, and then we tech into subtopics if there are any. Now, with that all being said, we then think about, now that you kind of know how we get started, then the question becomes, well, what do you use for a way of decluttering? I like to clutter. How do you declutter your mind with a mind map tool? So, in my particular case, oops. In my particular case, I use one or two, but I'm going to demonstrate one specifically to you tonight. And here's the reason why I'm showing this particular one. The reason why I'm demonstrating this one is because, number one, I subscribe to Google, which they now use was Google Suites. Now I think they're calling it Google Works. Essentially, it is the paid version of Google Drive, where you get to have your own, and you tie your domain to it, and you get to have your email address and everything go through there. But anyway, Google Suites, and it is a tool that comes through and connects with the Google Drive. So what I'm going to show with you today is that particular tool. And like I said before, so the link is inside. Let me see if I can put it up on the screen for you guys as well. Give me 1 second here. This is the link, and this is the name. It's called Mind Meister. And I will put it there and pop it up. There we go. So the tool I'm going to demonstrate for you guys tonight, and I hope that you'll join me in this mission of masterminding, is Mind Meister. And you can, again, click on the link inside of the group. I put it inside of the comments here. Let me just double check. Let me double check inside of the group. My thing went away. Let's see if it's going to behave. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Sometimes it wants to be nice and other times it doesn't. So here we go. So I'm pulling this up. Let's see if it's, where's the video? It's not. I got to do a refresh. Hold on a sec. So inside of the group, you'll find the link to this tool that I particularly use, and I'll show you even how you can add it. There's a paid version and there's a free version. It just depends on how you choose to adopt. So I'm not, no pressure or anything, but I'm putting it in the group here as well. Hold on here, so you guys can see it again. But Mind Meister. There you go. So there's inside the group for you, so you can see the link. Click on it and it'll open it up for you right there. And it's really also great for brainstorming, which is another great idea, especially with teams. So I want you to kind of think of it like back on, when you do a whiteboard, it's just the same thing, but it's digital. So we're going to take you out. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to take you over to the space. Also know that this is also a Chrome extension. Yeah, it should be. It's under my Chrome extensions as well. Let me just double check something here. No, it's not going to be a Chrome extension. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else. So, but I'm going to show how you can link to it. So the link will take you to the app. It's a browser-based product. You don't have to add any software or anything. You simply log in. And so I already have an account, but you can simply go ahead and create your own. Like I said, there's a free version, but what I do like about it is it does work really nicely with Google Suites. And so you're able to access it inside of the programs. And I'll show you what that looks like right now. So let me do this. I'm going to do a quick share of my screen. You take off this link real quick here. There we go. And here we go. All right. So let me share my screen over here. And I'm going to make us Let's see if it's going to behave. We'll see. Alrighty, so this is our home page. I'm going to go over here and show you. There you go. So when you're on your browser, Apple or Mac, it doesn't matter. If you bring up your browser, because I'm using, because Google is a Chrome product, I'm inside of a Chrome browser for this example, but that doesn't mean you have to. But the nice thing is that when you, by using the MindMeister, is that over here where it has your Google apps, it's one of the, I recognize Google apps that it plays really nice with the other apps inside of the selection. So when you go to create a file, you'll see it there. So if you scroll down, you'll see, or you'll add it to here where it says in the Google space, you can add it as an app as well. There's other mind map tools out there, so don't feel as though you have to use this one. I tend to like this one the best. I think just out of easy use, just the way some of the features and functions, which you'll see in a minute as well, but that's how this works. So you'll open up MindMaster, and it's going to open up to a screen that looks similar to this. Let me just double check and make sure that this is coming through for you guys. And let me also make sure that I am, there we go. Okay, you guys should be able to see that okay. There we go. All right. So going back to MindMeister. All right. There we go. All right. So when you first open up MindMaster, here's a couple of the other nice key benefits. One of them is that when you open up the tool itself, it's going to offer you some templates, which is really, really nice, meaning that you don't have to start from blank. If you have the intention of doing something very specific, then you can go right in and choose from some of the templates that they already have. Now, unfortunately, I don't know how much of this is different from the free or the paid version. And let me just say this. So paid version is not that expensive. It's like 12 something like every 6 months or something. It's not expensive at all, in my humble opinion. But do be mindful that there's a paid version to this. So if you wanted to go and do two types of maps, there's what they call the align, meaning that everything's kind of equal on both sides and they'll just keep putting stuff to the left and to the right. You even have the type of map if you were doing like an org chart. You also have, if you just want everything to kind of go like a fish diagram, that would be a right align. And then there's even tools already kind of designed with that in mind. There's brainstorming, there's one for note taking, getting things done, kind of like a to-do list. And then there's even project plans. So there's some pre-designed templates for your mind mapping that you already have, as well as an ability to start from scratch. So as you can see, I got lots of maps going on that I use for my project planning. Well, let's say, for instance, that we're just going to start from a clean slate. So I'm going to hit my button, and you can also share. So you can make things public, and you can also share your calendar, just so you know that too. So I'm just going to hit the plus button. And so it's going to ask me, do I want to do a new mind map? Do I want to start from a template? Do I want to go start up a new folder? Or do I even want to import, which is also really cool, meaning that if you can bring in information like from a spreadsheet you already have information on, but now you want to kind of make it more visually appealing and take it from there. So sometimes people like to maybe type in an outline format. You can take your outline and bring it in here, and then you can make it more visually appealing and stuff. So there's lots of different ways you can skin the cat, as you can imagine. So let's click on, we're going to do a new mind map. It's going to go open in the create. And then voila, this is the default screen. And they have great tutorials and everything in here. So if I'm going too fast, or I'm not going to cover each and everything, I just want to give you the aspect of understanding that there's the benefits when it comes to using a particular tool such as this. So give me 1 second. I'm going to have to switch. I'm going to share and share back. Give me 1 sec onto the tab. There we go. Alrighty. So now we're back in cool speeds. All right. So the nice thing is, just as I said, you start with that central idea of what it is that you're looking to do. And that's the first bubble, I like to call them, the idea bubble, that is going to be there. It is by default, just new mind map. But you simply can double tap it to start typing. Okay. That's how that works. Now, um, I'm going to come up with, so let's say that the first thing we're going to maybe make a mind map of is we're going to do kind of like a marketing method. So let's say we were going to start with a lead magnet. So I'll type in. So the idea is we're going to do a funnel, sales funnel, and we're just going to call it like a lead magnets, the first thing we're going to do, right? So we'll start with that. That's our main bubble. And what you'll notice over here, just use, you have enhancements. So you have a tool that's over here to the left. So you can change the fonts. You can make sure. So you can change the size of your fonts. You could change the color of the bubble itself. These are all for the bubbles. But if you click over here, then you're able to, these are some preset kind of designs. If you wanted to go with some presets, colors and layouts already done, you can customize everything. And then you can even go with some different shapes. So these are all, you can customize and make everything as funky and as detailed as you want. Don't get too crazy, because then you just start tinkering with stuff and you won't get any real work done. So do be mindful of that. Now, that was simply for the bubble. And then when you want to, you can simply come over to the text and you can change the colors of the text. Let me just change this over here, or the sizes of the text. Let me change this back over here. That was for the background. There's another button here for text, and you could simply change the text color if I wanted to make the text a different color. And again, I can make it bold and all those other things. You can then, once you have that main idea, then you'll start to shoot stuff off. So with that being said, if you have your lead magnet as your main idea, then you'll want to set up the 2 or 3 different types of main ideas that you want to kind of branch off from. So in this particular case, let's just say that there's going to be, let's see, I'm going to do a lead magnet, and it's going to be for an event. So my first lead magnet, when I type here, all I have to do is hit the plus sign, and I add the plus sign and I get a shoot off. Remember your first topic, right? So here, the lead magnet idea I have might be, one is going to be for an ebook. And then another, I can come back here and hit the plus sign again, or I can hit the tab key. And then another type of lead magnet, I might say, is going to be an infographic. Right? Now, those are my 2 basic ones. Now, I can then click on the next subtopic, and then I can make a subtopic of that simply by doing a quick offshoot. And so there in my ebook, it's going to, this one for the ebook, I'm going to do one that's going in the components of the ebook, right? So if I'm going to do a lead magnet for an ebook, then I'm going to have a landing page. I'm going to have a downloadable. I'm going to have an email automation to go with it, right? Just as something real quick. Those are quick components. And then for the infographic, I might have something very similar. And also with this, I might also want to add in this landing page. Well, on the landing page, I might have to have something sub with that. So you can go dig as deep as you want to with a mind map. It's just that simple. And you can also, other features and functions that you have here, you can add little images. So for instance, here, lately, a landing page, I might want to add some symbols to it, just like emojis. So you're able to enhance the map as large as you want to. So it can be as extensive or as simple as you want it to be. And you simply just keep growing it and growing it and growing it. Now, here's the other nice thing. So this is in a visual. You do have an ability down here with any one of these bubbles, is that you can add notes. So, in as much as you may have this little visual, you may want to have a little note or something that's going to go to maybe some copy that's going to go with the landing page. I wouldn't put it on the bubble, but you now have a space here where you could put, your marketing copy here. And so you'll start to build up your content, and it's going to then show, once you do that, it'll show as a note here with your bubble. So everything can stay very nice and neat and organized. Like I said before, right? Being organized was what the benefit of a mind map, and having a tool such as Mind Meister is Meister rather, is another great way of keeping and doing all those organizations. You can even add attachments to here. You can add hyperlinks into here. You can have the run of the mill. So those are the nice things. And then you can get, as you get really extensive and big, I'm going to show you something that's like super duper. Let me see if this is also where I even get to the point of when I do my annual goals, I do my 3 big rocks. And so there's an opportunity where I've done, like, here's my big picture one. Hopefully it's not too crazy, just to kind of give you an idea. So I have to zoom out, but this is kind of how extensive you can get it. And again, I always work with my 3 big rocks, and then I kind of hammer down and make my goals. And some of my clients that are watching, you know how we roll. This is a strategy that I help them to work through as well, because it just helps to capture things. And when you can see it, it just helps you in taking action on things as well. So hopefully you will find that this particular method of creating a mind map may be a useful tool for you. Those of you, if you have not, if you're still, like I said, got that idea and you're not sure, this is a great tool to capture your information, capture your thoughts. When you're in your coaching sessions with me, I'm making mind maps as you're talking, thinking about how this is all going to work out, and we're doing it together. So there's different opportunities where you could use a tool such as this. This is also great for kiddos. This is what when I taught, this is how you got to get your, capturing your maps. Even when I was in graduate school, I took notes this way. And everybody wanted my notes afterwards because they were like, "Oh my God, this look good." Because again, I'm thinking and writing it. I think this way, so that's how I would capture all of my notes while I was sitting in class. And it was just a great way for me to get a good understanding of what was I learning, as well as how I could go back and do my refreshing. So that's it. Like I said, there's lots of cool features and functions that the tool has to offer that you can do. You even have an ability to set this up for printing. There's some advanced features and functions. And again, you can share your map. So if you got a nice idea and you want to then send it out to your team, your virtual assistant, this is another great way you can go over that. I really love doing that for my VAs, because when I want to be able to cast a vision for, like, here's the project that I want us to work on, just giving them something auditory isn't typically enough. And some of my VAs, not that their first language isn't English, but sometimes how they think and where my vision is may not always connect. So I try to make things as visually appealing as possible. So I'll do a mind map here, and then I'll do an explainer video of the mind map, so they can know exactly how I'm thinking. And then we are both on the same page. So you have all these different ways in which you can capture your ideas, make it as personal as you want, or like I said, bringing it as a tool. But I hope you will find value in a tool such as MindMeister for mind mapping, because it has certainly been nothing but a game changer for me and me running my biz. And hopefully you will find it to be a similar feature for you as you start embarking on your work. This is, again, how you can schedule. We'll be talking more about how you'll be able to apply those same planning thoughts if you wanted to do your content marketing start your content strategies for creating your social media posts or your podcast schedule. All those things, all your ideas, you can put them all inside of a mind map. So hopefully you found that to be helpful. So again, how do you work with the mind mapping? It's a visual technique, plain and simple. And hopefully you found today's Biz Tip Tuesday to be just that, a useful one. And have that as something. Let me know your thoughts and how you feel. If you've done this before, great. Let me hear about that. I'd love to know how you are already using mind mapping in your business. And if it's not and you're like, this is kind of cool, I might want to check this out, then yeah, I want to hear from you too, as always. And just know that you can always reach out to me here, and you can reach out to me inside of Facebook, inside of Twitter, Instagram, or LinkedIn, as well as out on my Facebook group, and inside, of course, our Facebook groups themselves. So anyway, this is Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach. Let's get busy, my people. Have a good one. Bye-bye.